My name is Akankshya Upadhyay and I am your English instructor. In today's class, we will be solving the grammar portion of Unit 6, which is making offers and responding to them. So let's begin. In today's class, we will begin by learning about how to use unless and if. So today, we'll be learning about the use of unless and if. We use unless while talking about present situation. So unless is used to talk about present situations. Or when we need to state an exception, we use unless. Now let's see an example. Now here's a statement. You can't apply for the post if you don't qualify this class. So here we have a negative condition. So not qualifying is the negative condition. Instead of if you don't qualify this class, instead of if you, we can use unless in this case. Because when one thing happens, something else can't happen. So if you don't qualify the class, that's something is happening that you're not qualifying the class. Something else can't happen. You can't apply for the post. So we can rewrite the sentence using unless as. So it can be rewritten as you can't apply for the post unless you qualify the class. Similarly, another example is I can't improve my English if I don't read more books. So this can be rewritten as I can't improve my English unless I read more books. Next, we will look at some uses for if. Next, we will be using at the use of if. If is a conditional clause, so this can be used with several conditions. First one is the zero condition. In zero condition, we usually look at the scientific and general truth. So this comprises of scientific and general truth. For example, if metal gets hot, it expands. So this is a scientific truth. And we have present tense while using scientific truth. And while using some facts like these, we use the present tense. If the metal gets hot, so this is a present tense, it expands. This is again the present tense. So we write scientific facts or general truth in present tense. Next is the first condition. First condition is while we are talking about something in present or likely to happen in future. Now let's look at an example. If you see him, so in this statement, if you see him, give him this note, this statement is basically trying to talk about something in present or likely to happen in future. So if you see him in the future, give him this note. So do that at that point of time, do this thing. So this kind of statements or these statements are called the first condition. Next we have second condition. So the second condition is usually imaginary or unreal. So if can be used while we are talking about something imaginary or unreal. For example, if I were in charge, I'd do things differently. So this is imaginary. You're not in charge right now, but you're imagining that you are in charge. So if I were in charge, I'd do things differently. Now next we will go through the structures that we will be using to form these sentences. Now we have already understood what the zero condition, first condition, second condition and third condition is. We have already known about the zero condition, first and second condition. Now we will go through their structures. Zero condition is always in present tense. So the structure will be if plus present form. Next we have first condition. So you now already know what a first condition is, right? So first condition is again used to talk about something in present or likely to happen in future. And the sentence structure is if plus present form plus will, can, or may. So the example is if you need me, you can call me. So here need is the present form and can plus call. In the first clause, you use the present form if plus the present form, that's need, and then in the second clause you're using one of these, so will, can, or may, and you're using can. So this is the structure for first condition. For second condition we have if plus past plus would or could or might. So remember, the second condition was about the imaginary or unreal statements. And the example we had seen, and the example was, if I were in charge, I'd do things differently. So if I were in charge, so here were is in the past form. And in the second clause, we have used I'd, which means I would. So we're using would in the second clause. So in second condition, while we're talking about the imaginary or unreal things, this is our sentence structure. And finally, we have one more condition. That's the third condition. For the third condition, we have the structure. For the third condition, we have the structure. So for the third condition, we have the sentence structure if plus past perfect plus could, might, or would have done. So an example for this condition is, if I had gone out earlier, I could have met my friend. So had gone is in past perfect form, and we've used could in the second clause, and have done is the similar form for have done is have met. So if I had gone out earlier, I could have met my friends, or I could have met my friend. So this is how we implement the third condition. Now we will complete sentences with appropriate information. This is a part of our exercise for this unit. So the first statement or first sentence, the first incomplete sentence is, if she goes to hospital. Now this is in the first condition of our learning. So this is in the first condition form. If she goes to hospital, so goes to is in present form. And now what we must do is use will, can, or may. So we can say, if she goes to hospital, she will be late. This is the second part of our sentence. Now this is a similar one. If he works hard, so this is in the first condition too. As works hard, so works is in present tense, we are using will, may, or can. So if he works hard, so we can say if he works hard, he will pass the exam. Next we have water changes into steam if. So this is going to be in a zero condition. That is, this is a universal fact or a scientific fact. So water changes into steam if, now remember for zero condition we always used present tense. If water changes into steam, it boils. So this completes the sentence. And remember, both changes and boils is in the present form. So in the second condition, remember we had if plus past plus would, could, or might. So the question is, she wouldn't be angry if. So once we see the use of would, could, or might, we use the past form of tense. So here, she wouldn't be angry if. So we use the past tense. She wouldn't be angry if she was praised. Next we have unless I invite you. So we can say unless I invite you, don't come. Next we have if I was in charge. We can say If I were in charge, I'd change the class routine. Remember, this is the second condition. And finally, we have I will come. And we can complete it by saying, I will come if you invite me. So here we have come to the end of the practice session, the practice portion. Now we will do a writing. The question says, what would you do if you were elected as the president of your country? Begin as, if I were the president of my country, I would. So we need to continue our points in this sentence. This is a second conditional form where we are imagining an unreal situation of being the president of the country. So let's start writing. If I were the president of my country, I would strengthen our educational and waste management system. So we have the answer. If I were the president of my country, I would strengthen our educational and waste management system. I would make sure that everyone gets equal and fair opportunity. Also, I would focus on the drinking water supply management. Another area of my concern would be early marriage. I'd increase the age of marriage to abolish child marriage. I would also make policies to ensure traveling through public vehicle is easy, comfortable, and safe. Once you finish your writing, make sure you proofread it and go through whatever you've written once again. So once you do that, you become pretty sure that you are free of mistakes. So while proofreading, also I would like to focus on drinking water supply management. This sentence does not make a grammatically correct sentence. So we can add some words. We can add few words to make it correct. So we can say, also I would like to focus on the drinking water supply management system. So in this way, if you proofread it, you're assuring that your writing is free of errors. So this is all for today's class. The homework question for today's class is, what would you have done if you had not joined your present school? Begin as, if I had not joined my present school, I would have done this or I would not have done this. So you can continue like we did just now and then proofread your writing once you finish it. This is all for today's class. If you have any questions, any suggestions, or anything that you wish to share with us, please feel free to write to us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thanks for watching.